Hey guys, so I want to welcome you to day one of our sewing unit on the sewing machines. I have a few things that I need to go over with you first, and then what we'll be doing today is working on our practice sheets. We've got 3 separate practice sheets. One which focuses on controlling your hands, controlling your feet, and just being able to get a steady sew into the paper. The second sheet is working on ovals, and the third sheet is working on making corners. All of these skills are going to be incredibly important for you to be able to do because they're things that you'll need for your project. Remember that this unit focuses on being able to understand how to repair and keep up with your clothing just in case a rip comes up or a button falls off. You'll be able to fix it. So hang in there. I guarantee you'll have fun. Just be patient, okay? Alright, so there's 3 main rules that I want to discuss with you for when you use the sewing machine. Rule number 1, share. Sharing is caring. You know I'm talking to you. Make sure that if it's your turn, you're the only person touching your sewing machine. If it's your partner's turn, they're the only person touching it. None of this, ooh, let me reach over, stick my finger under there and get it sewn off. I don't want that. Okay, so you need to make sure you're sharing. Rule number 2, bats in the cave, meaning keep your fingers and thumbs together. I don't want any of these wing-spanning thumbs out. Whenever you're sewing, your hands are to stay straight next to the machine. Okay, just like this, never in front of the needle because we don't want anything to get caught under there. If you have long sleeves on, make sure that you roll them up. Last but certainly not least, please make sure that you're sewing slowly. As tempting as it is to want to drive this thing like a go-kart, it's not one. And if we run the engine as fast as it can possibly go all day, my engines are going to burn out quickly. So please take your time. Remember that this isn't about speed, it's about control. Okay, so to get your machine going, all you have to do is unwrap your gas pedal. And you have 2 plug-in ports. The first port is going to go into the center of your table. The second port will go into the side of your sewing machine, right by the power switch. Okay, so the first sheet that we're doing today is working on straight lines. You're going to need to reverse stitch at the beginning of the line, in between the 2 hash marks, and at the end of the line. So to start this, where the start sign is at the top of your paper, you're going to slide your paper underneath the machine and you want to line up the black line so that it's going through the crack of the presser foot. If your needle's in the way, you just turn your hand wheel to lift the needle up and down. So I'm going to go ahead, use the hand wheel, put it down in my paper, and then I'll use my foot lifter to put the presser foot down. Once you've done that, please wait for directions. Okay, so the next step is just going to be to sew forward, pressing your gas pedal. Okay, you're going to sew forward until you get to this first little mark here. Remember, we're sewing slowly, okay? And it may take you a second or so to get in the hang of things. Now, once you're at the first line, what I want you to do is use your reverse stitch lever. You hold it all the way down, and you're going to reverse stitch by pressing the gas pedal so that it brings you back to the start of the line. Once you've done that, you've tied an imaginary knot if you were to have thread in here. And now we're just going to sew straight down to the end of this line. If for some reason you go off the edge of the line, like, oops, I went over here, don't take your paper out, leave your paper in and just use your hands, okay, to guide your paper back towards the line. Remember, we want the line going through the crack of the presser foot, okay. Now, normally you would be using 2 hands to do this, but of course I'm recording with my other hand, so we want to see both hands. Thumbs need to be in, not out, okay, and away from the needle.